Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Adam's Quest. In the last episode, Animem's final challenge for our tribe appeared in the form of a bearyena, as she knows our tribe is very close to shipping off to their next home. So she gave them a wonderful feast to take along with them, and thank goodness it came just in time. We are pretty dangerously low on our food right now, but I think the next island is going to be much more plentiful for them, especially with the brand new little poison fangs sitting in the nest. Cadence is probably feeling particularly jealous now, I would imagine, especially because her parents have said that she is quite likely to hold the bluebird feathers someday too. She doesn't even have Adam's stripes, and yet still Adam seems to have favored her family with those poison fangs that he is so known for. So in this episode, I'd imagine she's going to try her best to turn the tides, and she only has a few days left to do so. But first, we have a bit of a bigger situation, which is of course this very final carnivorous plant in our journey. Hopefully this will be the last one that we ever see. No more jungles in our future, just a straight dash to Adam's old home now, with so many connections to his roots. So, thankfully, we do have one very clumsy creature in our midst, who is quite likely, despite Cadence's warnings, to go stumbling straight into its jaws. Jasper has been struggling all this time, so this is quite fitting. A very fitting way to end his story on this island. Not entirely, though, because Cadence is more than willing to scoot over and destroy those powerful leaves. She's been waiting for a good chance to prove her own strength. She knows she still has it. With that bearyena claw of hers and the ram horns too, she knows she does have some blessings on her side, just not really the ones that she's looking for right now. And did you see that Dodomingo scooting out to say hello? The Dodomingo was actually watching. Maybe he was worried about Jasper too? I have a feeling that the Dodomingo probably really just wants to get back to his nest. And now that our tribe is just about to leave, we could probably make the space for him to do so. We'll have Tanunu come over this way though, because I want him to start picking up some of these stinky fruits. This might also be our last chance to gather from the stinky fruit trees, so I want him to bring some food to remember this place by. Something to give to Rara as well, so she can remember her old home. And speaking of which, it does look like we still have a couple of fruits on this tree back here. So I wonder if that food thief is still around? Do you think maybe she's slunk back into the darkness? Into the shadows on the other side of the island? The one that we have never explored. Maybe that's what Isana and Wolfsong are going to do? Once we leave the island and we leave them behind? I suppose I could always find that wandering creature and start a little home with her. Let's sniff around though to make sure that we're not walking straight into any danger. We do have more carnivorous plants out here. Yeah, that would not be a good way to end your story, so we're going to make sure that we don't let any of you get gobbled up. Wolfsong is probably just really happy to have another adventure with her friend. This was always what she enjoyed the most, so no matter what's waiting in their path, she knows they can conquer it together. And as for you, little Rara, should we maybe have her toddle out of the nest? I'm kind of reluctant just because I know that she's going to look up to Foxtrot so much. She has witnessed some very incredible feats on this island, and I feel like she's going to look up to Foxtrot as something of a big sister figure. I mean, they're actually very similar. They both have those lean bodies. So if we're not careful, Rara might just think that she's indestructible. She has seen Foxtrot take down beryenas after all, so surely she can do the same. I guess we'll bring her over here. That way she's still protected next to Foxtrot. We know she's going to keep her safe. And then we should be ready to skip the day. I guess what we could do though, just to ensure that Cadence will have a baby on the next island, why don't we see if we can breed a Roduke and Cadence right now? She was really taken by his toxic body, and you know she does have the toxic body in her inactive traits, so there is a possibility that we could see it on their babies, and that's really what she's hoping for. If she has the toxic body in her line, then at least they would be able to pick the poison berries. And she's hoping that it might also catch Adam's eye again, so her family will be just as blessed. I'll place one of the toxic bodies into her mutation menu just for the added boost. And then maybe it's time to take a look at the fertility. We don't want that getting too low. I actually want her family to be like really big and all close and tight-knit, so maybe in the future generations we can work on that. We'll set Roduke up with the stripes, but then I think I'm actually going to leave his second slot open. He has a much longer lifespan than Cadence does, so I'd imagine there's still a chance that he could have some more babies. I'm not going to tell Cadence though, because I'm sure that she would not be very impressed. Oh darn, and that fertility. Okay, it didn't end up working this time, but we'll see if we can breed them on the next turn, so hopefully she'll have a baby to take. Oh, and Sienna. Oh, Sienna, you passed away overnight. The poor thing. She was awfully close to Rara, so I suppose that her daughter would know. But Tanunu just thinks that she went off on some grand adventure searching for her family. I know he's probably really, really heartbroken, like deep down inside. All he ever wanted was to go on adventures with her too, just like Isana and Wolfsong. So it's really hard for him to leave this place behind him now, knowing that her memory is staying here. Though I guess in a way it's not, because all of these creatures do have that purring magic on them too. So he'll still get the chance to hear her purrs in his memory. That's how her legacy will live on. She has also inspired a certain other healer to take up the task again. So after we swipe up some more of those berries, we'll bring her over here, I suppose. We can park her right behind Cadence for now, and then we better scoot Cadence up to the front. She's not going to let Tanunu have all the fun after all. We'll bring Foxtrot right next to Rara. There's certainly no better place for her, and that means that each and every one of our creatures should be ready to take the journey to the next island, to the next swampland, where hopefully there will be much, much more food for us to eat. We'll just have the last of our creatures clean up for us. Maybe see if we can find a way to maneuver around these plants. I really wish that we could find that wandering creature again. Oh, she is out here. Oh, excellent. So you guys haven't completely lost her after all? Yeah, they're going to be following this little one deep into the jungles. I wonder what they're going to discover together. I believe her name was Leiko, and it looks like she has plenty of roots to show them. So maybe instead of calling her a thief this time, those two can call her a friend. Now poor Rose Quartz. Oh, how fitting is that? She actually does have a place to bury her mate. Well, that is so sweet. So she can grab the root frost, she can grab the stinky fruits. And I guess she's going to spend the rest of her days right where her mate passed. Just remembering the family, all of the family that she's lost. I do feel like their family's love of these red fruits was probably what caused Jasper to get so complacent around them, you know? He figured that, despite Cadence's warnings, this thing couldn't possibly be a danger, because he's never seen a dangerous one before. But now you're going to know better, little guy. And hopefully the next island will be a bit more kind to you. Maybe you'll be able to swim around in the ocean like all of your ancestors. Before we go though, I just want to see one more time if hopefully we can breed these two. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so now when we get to the next island, we can plant down a nest right away, and Cadence will be able to have at least one baby. Hopefully two, because she still does have an extra day in her lifespan. But as far as who is going to lead us to the next island, I was actually thinking about letting Rara do the honors. I mean, she is like the perfect swamp queen anyways. That's part of what has Cadence so jealous. So let's have her do it. We're going to travel away to the next swamp in our journeys, and I am so excited. Like, tell me we are never ever going to see another jungle. I am sick of the jungle. All the paranoia involved. No. No, 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 no. Oh, you guys, do not tell me we have to go back to the jungle. Are you kidding me? Oh, that is the worst. That is actually the worst. Yeah, because typically if there isn't an island in the north, that means we have to go to the right. And it looks like we have another jungle to conquer. Really? Really, you guys? Oh, maybe we should have left a little offering for Solaris or something, just for the extra luck? Tanunu, you are probably kicking yourself right now. Well, on the plus side, we do have plenty of food. So Rara can actually get to work right away, just picking up these poison berries. Ooh, and there's leeches coming in the water. There's shells, there's crabbits. Oh, Jasper! Oh, I bet you can't believe this. You've only ever known the abyss? So now he's going to get to experience the true water body experience. And we also unlocked a gene. I'm pretty sure I know what this is, though. You guys have mentioned that this island is where we're going to unlock these poison fangs. So, is there any better way for us to connect ourselves to Adam? It actually makes me wonder if this might be close to the place where he was dropped off as a kid. I'm sure it's not the same island. It was pretty small, but maybe it's super close, and it has to mean that we're close to his old home. But let's be very, very mindful of those leeches. And also very mindful of the coconut trees, because we know just how much damage these things can do. So I guess for now, we'll have to move Cadence over here? Or should we move her into the swamplands? Actually, this spot right here is completely covered by thorns. You know, that might be a good spot for her to set up a nest, because there's truly no way that any danger can harm her babies. Unless, of course, they come from the front. But she knows that there are so many tribe mates keeping watch over her. There's no possible way that her babies can get picked off, even in this new and strange land. You figure, though, with the way that she's so devoted to Adam's old ways, this must be the life for her. She must feel Adam closer than she ever had before. Now, Peach still has the healing magic on her, so we should be able to get rid of that last day's worth of damage. But I wonder what she's actually going to think of Roduke and his new family. I always felt there was a strong connection between these two. I mean, they spent quite a while traveling side by side. But after she lost a needle, she was just never the same. She probably actually thinks that she lost her chance to have a family with Roduke. I'm not really sure how Roduke feels, though. Maybe we'll find out after Cadence has passed. But for now... Oh my goodness! Look at all of those berry bushes! I'm not sure if we can even get to them all because of those thorns. And we certainly don't want our creatures settling down underneath the coconut tree. So those might actually be pretty tricky for us to get to. I suppose we can bring Rara and Tanunu around the bend. They can sniff around maybe, set themselves up in a bit of a better location. They're going to need somebody to go with them, though. Somebody like Foxtrot with her big nose, so she can actually tell them what sort of dangers are waiting in their future. And she's so fast, too. This is excellent. This is perfect. Let's bring her right up here. Sniff around for us. Yes. Oh, we are never going to go hungry again. We are officially saved. We could have Rara maybe pick up the grass for now so we don't lose track of this berry bush. And then we'll have Peach start making her way elsewhere, I guess. Maybe she could come over here for now. She can pick up the grass too to start making a pathway into the swamplands, since I'm sure some brave adventurers are going to want to explore it. We'll save her healing magic for now. Maybe she could even ensure the strength of Roduke's babies by purring for them in the future. Because even though she does feel a little bit broken-hearted right now, I'm sure she would want to see his babies survive and thrive. Now, it doesn't look like you have any roots to dig up, Jasper, but you know what? I think I know exactly what you're going to do. Dive straight into the ocean. I mean, there is no decision involved. This little guy has been stuck underneath the oppressive jungle heat for far too long, and he is more than happy to go swimming. Now, unfortunately, without those nimble fingers, he won't be cracking open many shells. But he can go scouting down here. And since we know that there are these water-breathing fruits, or water-breathing plants, rather, I guess you could always enlist the help of one of our other creatures with the nimble fingers instead. Now, as for you, I guess we'll have Foxtrot just pick up the grass, and then maybe scoot a little bit further down the shore. I'm very, very curious if she can discover anything on her pathway to these awful jungle boards. Yeah, it seems like most of the food is actually situated like right around here, right between these two locations. So I guess that's pretty good for us. But let's go ahead and skip our very first day on the Swamp Island. Oh, and look at this baby. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she has the stripes and the toxic body. That actually looks really, really cool. It almost looks like these stripes are maybe Swamp from the Mudlands. And she has blue eyes as well. Oh my gosh. She is a little bluebell child like our fairies from the old islands. Well, the fairies were always known for their singing too. So I think we're actually going to name this little baby Carol. It'll go very nicely with her mother's theme. And I hope we'll be able to set up just one more baby between them before Cadence passes away. She still needs to teach them the old ways of Adam after all. And she'll also need to hand down that bluebird feather. Though I think beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's going to be Carol who takes it. She has the blue fur and everything, so that must be a good sign. There we go, not nearly as much trouble this time. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Carol mutated the high fertility gene, but at least she has some pretty high fertility anyways. So, Roduke, maybe you could introduce Peach to your babies? Or should we wait just one more day, since that'll be when his second baby is born? Yeah, that might be a good idea, so for now, just scoot on over here, sniff around a little bit for us, pick up some of that grass. And we have some of those twiggy little plants back there too for the nesting material. And you know who loved those? Solaris. So I think that's something that Tanunu is probably going to want to find. This crabbit is quite interesting too. I wonder if anybody could maybe pick it off. We might have to see if we can get some of our stronger creatures over there to do the job. On your very first coconut, Tanunu. Why don't you jump on in here and grab it for us? Ooh, it looks like the piranha are in the water again. Okay, Jasper, that is something you're going to have to watch out for. If he starts bleeding due to any leeches, he is going to be in a very, very sorry state. Now, Rara better leave the berry bush behind her if she wants to catch up to Foxtrot and her father. She only has 2 turns to make, so we don't want her settling down too close to those coconuts. And I know she has a pretty big mission with these poison berries, but I wonder if she would be the brave soul who ends up munching on the water-breathing plants and dives into the ocean with Jasper to find those precious shells. I'd imagine that she would be just the sort of adventurous creature for the job. Let's have him dive a bit deeper though. That way he won't be getting hit by any coconuts either. And that way he can let his tribe know that he's found some very, very deep shells. Yeah, there's not too many of them down there yet, but it is worth keeping track of. Every little bit of food counts on this island, especially if we're going to be going straight back to another jungle, where the food might be just as scarce as our previous one. We do have a route back here, so you might want to let Jasper know. You two can exchange secrets, I guess. He'll tell you about the shells, and you can tell him about the roots. We'll have Cadence go ahead and pack up her nest over here. And then Roduke, I guess you're going to sit right there next to your mate overnight. That way your baby will be nice and safe. In fact, we might even want you to scoot over this way so little Carol will be safe too. No bluebirds yet, but since this place is so similar to that island that Adam was on, I wouldn't be surprised if one decides to show up. Oh, is this a double digging pod baby? Oh my goodness! Another one with the toxic body too, so that's good to see. But unfortunately, I don't think she's going to be able to gather any berries, because she probably doesn't have any collecting skills. Well, that's an interesting turn of events. Maybe we should have placed the nimble fingers into one of their mutation menus instead. But she does have the stripes as well, And she also reminds me of one of those very, very old fairies. So I guess that part of their line is starting to shine through again. It's actually kind of funny because their family did take such a deviation from those happy sunny fairies. Now it's all coming right back in the swamplands again. So I think in their honor, we'll actually name this little baby Sunshine. Whoops, because I feel like that would be a good name for a fairy. So little Sunshine of the swamplands, and Carol too, who it seems will be taking on that bluebird feather that her mother has left behind. It's all that she can really do, and she already understands just how important it is to stay close to her family. So maybe now would be a good time for little Peach to purr for all of the babies. We'll just have a Roduke maybe grab up some of the poison berries for them to eat. Then he could scoot on over to the other side of the nest, leaving room for Peach to work her magic. Now I'm sure she is very, very nervous, because the last time she did this, it only seemed to harm Needle more. But the babies seem happy enough. They seem healthy and glad, so she hopes that that blessing will help them gather plenty of food in the future. Goodness knows they need it. And Rara, looks like you could actually pick up some of these coconuts too. Yeah, these are actually going to be a pretty good source of food as well. They have tons of food to eat over here. Yeah, as soon as we get a nice big family growing between all of our poison fangs, our food supplies will be soaring again. Oh no, and Tununu, you're the first one to find a leech. It must have been hiding inside this little algae pile. So I think it's going to actually be Jasper to the rescue this time. He can swim on over, now that he has so much energy, and pick that straight off of you. I think that's a pretty good first impression. Well, maybe not first impression. Tununu does remember you stumbling into the carnivorous plant on the last island. But it's a good way to get on the leader's good side for sure. And maybe even get him involved with his daughter? Maybe Tununu would be a little bit more willing to let Rara go swimming in the ocean with him, if he knows that he's going to be so protective, I guess. No harm is going to befall his baby with the Jasper around. Now let's have Foxtrot clear out the grass over here. Oh, look at that, we have a nest over here. She's already doing an excellent job clearing this area out for our tribe to use in the future. And I guess somebody should be able to start a family right there too. So that's a good thing to see. Let's go ahead and skip the day again. I wonder if we're going to find any wanderers out here? It's not as though there are too many threats. Oh my gosh, just as I say that, there's a bearyena behind us. Well, now that we know that these guys can actually spawn directly in the middle of the swamplands, Foxtrot, you're gonna have your work cut out for you. I know you consider yourself to be the bearyena slayer from the previous island, but you're not going to be able to take care of him alone. You know who is going to want to get involved, though? Rara, with her 3rd gem and everything. Alright, so let's have her land 2 good swipes. Oh no, and somebody picked up another leech. Was it you this time, Jasper? Yep, I had a feeling. So it seems like Tununu is going to have to repay the favor, because we don't want you bleeding away in the ocean. Now, if we could maybe move Rara down here. There we go, that should light up the way for Foxtrot enough to escape. Kind of. Oh geez, I wonder if maybe Rara should use the water-breathing plant? And then she could light up more of this area by swimming into the ocean. Oh, we can attack the bearyena from the ocean! He will never see it coming! Yeah, Foxtrot, come down here for us. Hopefully the bearyena will follow you. And then your friend Rara can swoop in and save the day. She can at least poison the bearyena with her poison fangs. So it should help cut the bearyena's lifespan by quite a bit. Adam would be very, very proud of you. That much I know for certain. So let's have our father stand on the sidelines just in case. We'll bring him over here to prepare their future snacks. And then Jasper might also be able to kind of like weasel his way behind. That way if they need that extra push. Granted, I don't think he can do much. The poor guy has like a 0 in attack strength thanks to the water body and his lack of any claws. so I guess he's probably just going to be watching from afar. But it'll certainly be an impressive feat, and maybe this will spark Jasper's fascination with our new Swamp Queen. Now might be a good time for Peach to open up a little bit more to Roduke too. Now that Cadence has passed and they have these new little babies, these new royal babies I should add to take care of, it might be a good time for her to discuss her feelings, and especially go over that time where she felt so lost. He was kind of that only light that kept her going. He was the one who helped lay Needle's remains to rest, and he was the one who pushed her forward when she felt like she couldn't. But now she kind of feels as if she's lost her chance to be anything more than a friend. Though I have a feeling that Roduke doesn't feel the same. Maybe this would be a good way for us to keep our healers alive too. And for that matter, it could give us a good chance to grow Cadence's family and the healers side by side. I feel like she would be okay with that, even though the healers won't have any royal blood in them. Just knowing that they're protecting her babies and ensuring her own legacy would definitely put her own soul at ease. So maybe with that other slot in Roduke's mutation menu, we could add in the person out instead, and just cross our fingers that one of these babies will be lucky enough to inherit it from their father. Otherwise, I suppose we could always see some more poison fangs, and I know that would impress Cadence. Or would it make her jealous? I mean, you think about it, she wanted to be the one who truly gained Adam's favor. So I'm not sure if she would be too happy to see her replacement, essentially, getting the poison fangs instead. I'm not sure, but why don't you go ahead and steal that shell from the crab at Peach? I would have Roduke do a little bit more exploring, but I think for now, we'll just bring him over here to pick the poison berries for his daughter. Show the two little babies how it's done. And now let's see if Foxtrot's plans are going to work. Oh, of course, straight toward her. And unfortunately, she did take a little bit of damage from it. But now it's raining, which means we'll have so many berries to pick. And it also means that these strange little snails are going to start popping up on top of these trees. Now, I've never actually interacted with these things before, but I believe these are a food source that we can only collect with the wings. If a creature had the gift of flight like Solaris, they could swoop up to the top and grab them with ease. So it's something for our little Tanunu to consider. Maybe he's gazing at those branches longingly, hoping that one of his own babies will have the wings someday to test that out for themselves. But right now we do have a bit of a bigger situation on our hands. So how much time does this bearyena actually have in his lifespan? 7 more days? So I mean, technically Foxtrot could take him out all by herself, but I do want Rara to swoop in from the ocean nonetheless. So 2 swipes from you. Then let's have Rara jump in for the attack too. The best sneak attack ever, straight from the ocean waves. That's probably a new one for our bearyena friend. That's probably one that he has never experienced before. So go ahead and collect all of that delicious meat for us. There we go, that is going to set us up for a very nice future in the swamplands. We always knew that Rara was special though. We knew that she was going to give us good luck one way or another. So now before we end out the episode, let's come on over here, because it actually looks like our plans may have worked. We have a tiny little orange baby cat in the nest. Oh my gosh, she is so cute. She reminds me of so many of her ancestors actually. The only thing she's missing are the spots that they're known for. Oh, actually it's almost like the spots have faded over time. And now they're just completely gone. They darkened and darkened on our family until they just disappeared altogether. So I think we're going to name this little baby Tangerine. This seems awfully fitting of her fur color. And hopefully, just like her mother, she's going to learn how to use her healing magic to the best of her abilities. That way she'll be able to keep Cadence's family safe and sound. Her half-family even. They are related despite not being of any royal blood. So they're just as important to Adam's story as anyone else in the Bluebird family. So in the next episode, we'll see how much food Rara and her friends can gather. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!